Okay, let's unpack this. We live in a world that, well, it really encourages us to put everything out there, doesn't it? To be constantly on, totally transparent. So how do we find, a real balance? It feels like sharing everything, all the personal details has become the norm. But is that actually good for us, for our peace of mind?
That's exactly the big question we're tackling today. It's a really profound one. And our guide for this is going to be excerpts from the Stoic Guide to Discreet Living. So our mission really in this deep dive is to explore that ancient wisdom, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoics, and see what they say about what not to share. It's all about how choosing privacy, discretion can genuinely protect your inner peace and help you cultivate self-control, build resilience, basically lead a more fulfilling life overall.
Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting for me, because the guide points to specific things, specific areas where keeping quiet isn't just like polite, it's actually essential for our well-being. That means pretty countercultural right now.
It absolutely does. It challenges that whole share everything vibe.
So first up, the guide mentions holding back on sharing our personal weaknesses. Now that's tricky because today, vulnerability is often framed as a strength, People encourage it. So from the Stoic angle, what's the thinking there? Are they saying never be vulnerable? Or is it more nuanced?
That's a really key distinction. For the Stoics, strength isn't about pretending you don't have weaknesses. It's about internal mastery. Marcus Aurelius talks a lot about mastering our impressions, basically, how we see things and react to them. If you share weaknesses just sort of everywhere, you invite judgment, maybe pity, things that can destabilize your inner calm. It kind of undermines your own moral will, your prohairesis, by making your peace depend on what others think.
Okay. So it's about protecting your inner state. So the alternative then, according to this wisdom, is more about like self-reflection, focusing on growth privately, building that resilience and confidence from the inside out without needing everyone else's input or approval. And instead of broadcasting struggles, maybe focus on highlighting strength and achievements through your actions, which feels, more solid. It builds your own self-esteem, maybe inspires others, but without that need for validation.
Precisely. It's about inner work leading to outer results, rather than seeking outer validation first.
Okay, moving on. Another really sensitive one the guide brings up, money. Financial information. Now, Stoicism often seems focused on detaching from material things, right? So why the clear advice to keep money matters private?
Well, it connects directly to that idea of preferred indifference. Things like wealth, status, they're external. Not inherently good or bad. What matters is how we use them and, crucially, how they affect our inner state, our ataraxia, that tranquility. Sharing financial details, income, savings, whatever, can invite envy, maybe exploitation. Things that disrupt your peace. These are external factors, things outside your direct control. The Stoics would say, why invite that disturbance? Focus on inner wealth, on virtue.
That makes a lot of sense. When you put it like that, you're just opening yourself up to potential negativity. So the solution offered is pretty straightforward. Keep your income, your savings, investments, keep it private. And the guide suggests getting professional advice from actual financial advisors, not just chatting about it with friends. It's about safeguarding your assets, sure, but also avoiding stress.
Yeah, avoiding those complications that can come up when people know too much or maybe feel entitled or just give bad advice.
Right. Okay, next up, intimate relationships. The guide really stresses privacy within romantic partnerships. And this one feels huge today with social media and, people sharing every detail. Why is discretion so vital here?
Well, think about the foundation of trust. Stoicism emphasizes reason, right? And avoiding those unchecked emotions, the passions like jealousy, anger, resentment. When you share really personal relationship stuff outside the couple, it can easily lead to gossip, misunderstanding. People misinterpret things.
Yeah.
And that just fuels those negative emotions. It damages the trust between the partners. It's like letting outside opinions pollute the inner citadel of the relationship, which really should be a safe space.
Yeah, a sanctuary. That's a good way to put it. So the benefit the guide highlights is that keeping things private actually fosters respect and deepens that trust within the relationship.
Exactly.
It encourages you to prioritize talking directly to your partner, strengthening that connection, making sure you both feel secure, valued, creating that safe space for love without all the outside noise.
It keeps the focus where it belongs between the two people involved.
Okay, what about future plans? Our goals, our aspirations. It feels so natural to want to share exciting dreams, maybe get some encouragement. But the guide seems cautious here too. What's the Stoic reasoning behind keeping plans quiet?
This goes back to that core Stoic idea, the dichotomy of control. Remember, Distinguishing what's actually in your power from what isn't. Your effort, your character, your intentions, those are yours to control. The outcome. Other people's reactions, not so much. Sharing plans too early can bring in all this unwanted pressure, expectations from others. It kind of blurs that line. You might start tying your own peace of mind to whether people approve or if the plan works out exactly as you said, which isn't very stoic.
Right, you become dependent on external validation again, instead of your own actions. So the alternative is focus on the doing, not the talking. Keep plans more private until they're actually happening or maybe even done.
Pretty much. Concentrate your energy on the action itself.
That protects your vision, doesn't it? Gives you freedom to adjust, to change course without feeling like you're letting people down.
And arguably makes the success feel more profound when it happens because it was driven from within.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, the guide also talks about personal beliefs and opinions, another potentially tricky area. In a world full of strong opinions where everyone seems eager to share theirs, why advocate for discretion here?
Well, Stoicism is all about living according to reason. And let's be honest, a lot of debates about deeply held beliefs can get pretty irrational, right? They get fueled by emotion, anger, dogma, not necessarily logic or understanding. Sharing those beliefs indiscriminately can just lead to conflict, alienation. It creates divides. Keeping some things to yourself protects your inner peace from that kind of unnecessary friction. And it lets you practice a bit of intellectual humility, too.
So it's not about never discussing beliefs, but being mindful. The guide seems to push for respectful dialogue when it's right, keeping an open mind.
Exactly. Appreciating that people have different views shaped by different experiences, not feeling like you have to convince everyone you're right.
It's more about understanding than winning an argument, which, again, preserves your own emotional balance.
Precisely. Building bridges, not burning them.
Okay, another really sensitive one, personal health issues. It can be tempting to seek support widely or just vent when you're going through something tough physically, but the guide cautions against oversharing here too. Why?
Well, health, much like wealth, is largely seen as an external indifferent in Stoicism. We obviously prefer good health, but having it or not doesn't define our virtue or ultimate happiness. Sharing health problems too broadly can, unfortunately, open you up to judgment, maybe even stigma, or just a flood of unsolicited opinions, sometimes negative perceptions. That just adds stress when you're already vulnerable. It risks making your well-being dependent on sympathy or other people's advice instead of focusing on your own resilience and taking the right actions.
That's a really good point. So the wiser path, according to this Stoic approach, is seek help from qualified professionals, doctors, therapists, and maintain privacy otherwise, mainly for your own emotional well-being. Allows you to focus on getting better, on self-care, without managing everyone else's reactions.
It promotes a more self-reliant, reasoned approach to managing your health.
Okay, let's talk family matters, always a delicate area. Why is it so important to keep family issues, especially disagreements, sort of within the family?
This ties into the Stoic idea of duty and our sphere of influence, our oikos or household. Family is usually our most immediate circle. Resolving issues internally is seen as a duty, something that strengthens those core bonds. Sharing family problems outside that circle just invites opinions, interference, stuff that's outside your control and can make things way more complicated. It can escalate tension, make it harder to find real resolution within the family, kind of undermines the loyalty and discretion needed.
Right, it lets the outside world interfere with internal dynamics. So the guide really pushes for dealing with things internally, talking openly within the family, fostering understanding among the people directly involved.
Exactly. That's seen as key to strengthening those bonds, showing loyalty, and preserving the relationships by protecting their integrity.
Okay, last one the guide covers. How we handle our past, specifically failures and regrets. Why is discretion important here? Often people feel an urge to confess or maybe just dwell on mistakes.
Well, from a Stoic view, the past is done. It's unchangeable. So dwelling on failures or broadcasting them constantly lets them control your present. It undermines your rational mind, your prohairesis now. You can't change what happened. You can only control your reaction to it and what you choose to do going forward. Constantly revisiting past mistakes, especially publicly, can trap you in negative self-talk. It erodes your self-esteem, your motivation. It stops you moving forward.
So the productive way is learn from them. Use them as fuel for improvement.
Exactly. Embrace resilience. Reframe your perspective.
Focus on the progress you're making now, the lessons learned, rather than letting past regrets define you or drag you down. It's about quiet, internal growth from those experiences.
Yes, transforming the past into a stepping stone, not a roadblock.
Wow. So, okay, bringing this all together, what's the big takeaway? This deep dive using the Stoic Guide to Discreet Living has really shown how important privacy can be across so many parts of life, right? From struggles to relationships to plans. We've seen how Stoicism really champions discretion, focusing on our inner strengths, what we can control, and resolving things internally for growth and, well, peace.
Precisely. And protecting your privacy through this Stoic lens, it isn't about being secretive just cause. It's a conscious choice to guard your emotional health from all that external noise and negativity. And counterintuitively, maybe, it can lead to stronger, more authentic relationships built on real trust, not just surface-level sharing. It's about building your inner fortress, really.
Yeah. This deep dive really suggests that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do for ourselves, for our peace of mind, for our relationships, is to choose silence thoughtfully. So thinking about all this, what stands out to you? How might embracing a bit more discretion informed by these Stoic ideas actually enhance your own well-being and your relationships? Something to think about.